Good evening. Nope. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Riverside Fire Information Community Meeting. My name is Michelle Fiddler. I'm a Public Information Officer with the Southwest Area Incident Management Team. We have several members of our team here tonight, as well as representatives from our partner agencies to give you an update on the current fire status. Before we begin, I'd just like to let folks know that the best source of fire information for our fire is on INCIWeb. And on that website, we'll share the link in the comments below here. You can find access to all of our news releases, photos, maps, and links to all of our partner agencies. We also maintain a Facebook account that you're watching us on tonight, as well as Twitter, and we have several phone numbers available and email. So numerous ways to reach us, but our goal is you get the same information regardless of the tool or the method you reach out to us. We will be monitoring your questions here tonight. We may not get to them all, so we also encourage you to give us a call, or we are monitoring questions by email as well. So if you have those, send those in. We'll do our best to get to many of them tonight. And again, we encourage you to reach out if you have additional questions throughout the week. We are going to hold our questions until the end. We'll have our presenters go first, but we will circle back to those later this evening. Our first speaker tonight is Jeremy Human. He's our Operations Section Chief with Southwest Area Incident Management Team 1, here to give us an update on the current fire situation.
Good evening, folks. Jeremy Human. Very busy and productive day on the fire today. I'm going to start with this spot fire right here is 400 acres. We had a slop off the spot today. So what that means is our previous containment line fire jumped that, became established in some old logging slash. We were able to get around that with additional dozers and some hand line. Later this evening here in the very near future, our crews are going to be conducting a burnout to burn that fuel between the control line and the main fire, this main part of the spot to contain that. It'll be about 100 additional acres. Like I said, the spot fire is 400 acres total, but that'll add about 100 acres. Best way to contain it given the fuel type right there. So tonight, if you're can see that area or that's visible to you, expect to see some fire activity. Know that we have crews on the scene and they're working hard to contain that. Coming to the southern half of that division and branch. Good progress today with the combination of dozers and hand line in this general area right here. We are going to be able to show some containment later today in that area, as well as some good work in here and around drop point 30. The crews continue to work really hard there to get that good and secure as they are looking to add containment to this fire. The large spot just southeast of the communities there, looking really good. That line held throughout the day. Crews continue to mop that up and hoping to add containment there as well as part of this perimeter right here. So going to be adding some containment tonight. We're still figuring out exactly how much as crews work into the late part of the evening, but starting to show some progress and really show the efforts that have been made over the last several days. Okay, working over into Division Foxtrot here on the northwest corner. We're able to work with several partners today, PG&E and ODOT. We're in working near the hydro station and along Highway 224 to start making that safe and to provide those services, get their infrastructure back in service. So they were in there working today, as well as crews were again working this hand line, working to secure that. We'll be showing some containment in that area this evening as well. And then additional crews worked in this part of the fire line. If you remember from last night, we kind of made an initial pass. Some very rugged terrain in there. It's been slow going. The crews are working extremely hard to get that secure, but good success in there. Several more days of work in that area. In Division Kilo, we had the masticators pickup. We were able to add a second piece of equipment in there that we received today. They're proceeding to the east, going as direct as possible, utilizing the road systems and trying to work on getting that secured. So good work in there. On the east side of the fire, we continue to scout and look at options as close to the fire as possible, but really trying to figure out what gives us the greatest probability of success and have some alternate plans for that. So that was a good portion of the work that was going on this east side and northeast corner. Over here, our division has been tying in with both the Lions Head and the Beachy Creek incident management teams, trying to figure out the best way to connect the fires as close as we can. And again, what makes most sense, probability. The line that's our partners and collaborators have been working on here, along with our own resources, looking really good. That continued to hold throughout the day. Thanks. Have a great evening.
Hi there. My name is Christian Cassell. I'm the incident meteorologist for the Riverside Fire. I have two main reasons to serve an incident management team at a wildfire incident. The first is for the safety of everyone involved, especially our firefighters, but also the public, and help the incident management team decide on how they want to effectively handle that. The second is to help the incident management team develop strategies for how they will manage the fire while they are here. So let's talk about the weather for the next few days. Really, tonight we're mainly looking at increasing moisture down low. So we're looking at an increase in fog and trapping some more smoke. So I do expect this pattern of low visibilities will continue. Beyond that, in general, we're in an increasing trend of a low pressure system moving toward our area. So humidity will be increasing for the next several days. We'll have better chances of rainfall. So on Thursday through Friday and possibly even into Saturday, we'll have a decent or very good shot of getting measurable rainfall. Now those rainfall totals look like they could total anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to 4/10 of an inch. With that, as we go into just looking at the trends in the extended, there's no really warm, dry periods for the next week at least. So good news there. With that, I will pass it along. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Kelly Allen. I'm what's called the fire behavior analyst. And my job is to basically take a look at the fuels, weather, and topography and on the fire and make predictions as to what the fire is going to do anywhere over the next 12 to 72 hours in general. So based on that for tomorrow, as Jeremy said, not going to see a whole lot of fire behavior in here, basically some hot spots, some smoldering, things like that. Not a big threat for the line right now. As we move on around to the north and into the Roaring River Wilderness, that's probably the best opportunity, or not opportunity, but that's probably where we're going to see some more fire go up into the wilderness. Again, not any big move, not any big spread rates or anything like that. Be pretty easy fire through there. The next spot to kind of look at is down here on the south side. Fire is going to spread down to the south a little bit more. It hasn't been doing a lot in the last few days, and I don't anticipate it doing much more tomorrow. End of report, and see you soon.
Good evening, Tom Montoya, Agency Administrator for the Forest Service. I want to start out by just thanking the communities that have been affected. There's been an outpouring, literally an outpouring of support for the communities, and it means a lot to the firefighters seeing that support. There's been folks dropping off stuff here at the Incident Command Post. There's been folks donating equipment, trying to help out where they can. So from the agencies, we just want to say thank you from the firefighters. It does mean a lot. It does pick up morale. So we really appreciate that from the local communities. Thank you for doing that. I did want to try to address a couple of questions that have come over the Facebook post, and those are related to a couple of Forest Service facilities and Job Corps facilities. So Timberlake Job Corps, there's a question about impacts to Timberlake. We are currently doing some assessment of Timberlake. Don't know the full extent of the impacts there, but that looks like there has been some damage to some buildings at that location. Ripple Brook Guard Station is the other one that there is some question about in terms of impacts to Ripple Brook. We do know that there's been loss of old guard station as well as bunkhouse facilities at that guard station. Again, we're still trying to do full assessment of that, but we do know there's been a loss of some of the infrastructure on the National Forest. The last one I wanted to address, there's been some questions about activities within the wilderness areas. Particularly folks are wondering what's happening there in terms of equipment, how we providing guidance to the teams in terms of strategies. Again, the team is trying to prioritize the effort, and really that prioritization has been in protecting communities on the western front of this fire. That's really important to keep in mind as this fire is going to continue to burn for the next week, couple of weeks, and probably months. In the wilderness area specifically, there is no use of dozers at this time. If that was one of the questions, we have given some authorization for mechanical equipments like chainsaws if needed for fire crews. But again, at this point, there's no activity in terms of that fire suppression occurring within the wilderness because of that emphasis on the western front. Thank you.
Good evening, folks. I'm Brian Pugh with the Oregon Department of Forestry. Every year, Oregon experiences wildfires, but nothing as significant as we've seen in the last couple of weeks. The Oregon Department of Forestry works in a complete and coordinated system to suppress wildfires. We work with our partners at the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office, the Oregon Fire Service, Clackamas County Fire, with the Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, with the Rangeland Forest Protection Associations to protect Oregon's forests, Oregon's rangelands, and of course, the communities that you all live in around Oregon. That was a lot of organizations in there, and it takes a lot of people. Of course, tonight we are talking about the Riverside fire, and the Riverside fire is the top priority fire in Oregon right now. And we know that's important, and we are working hard to contain that. But we also have to remember there's about 5,000 firefighters in Oregon right now working on 17 large fires through incident management teams. We couldn't do this work without the great help from the incident management team, especially this team here tonight with the Southwest Team Number 1. So while this is going on and there's a lot of fire on the landscape, we appreciate your patience as we work through the hundreds of miles of fire lines, all up and down the I-5 corridor where those large fires are, and the ones currently burning in Eastern Oregon right now. We appreciate your patience and also your support. Your support directly to the wildfires is much appreciated, but also as important is your support to your community organizations like the Red Cross and other relief funds in your local communities. It's vital work that we will get through and get done. Thank you.
Our next speaker tonight will be joining us virtually via Zoom, and that'll be our speaker from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. We'll switch over to Clackamas County Sheriff's Office here.
Thank you. Sergeant Marcus Mendoza, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to first thank the Southwest Area Incident Management Team and all the firefighters and support personnel working on the fire. Our role in this obviously is safety and security, and our message that I would really like everybody to take away tonight is if you live in the affected areas or have been evacuated from those areas, rest assured the Sheriff's Office has a tremendous amount of law enforcement resources dedicated to this area to keep it safe. As the Sheriff Roberts pointed out recently at a press conference, that our response times are really phenomenal at this point. If you have any issues, emergency issues, call 911. If they're non-emergency, contact our non-emergency dispatch, please. Again, thanks to the fire teams for all your hard work.
Good evening. My name is Fred Charlton. I'm the fire chief with Clackamas Fire District #1 and also the Clackamas County Fire Defense Board chief. These are incredibly overwhelming and stressful times for our community, for our firefighters, and all of you. We understand the impact to our community, not just here locally, but across Clackamas County. Your firefighters have been on the front lines, working hand in hand with the Oregon Department of Forestry, the Federal Type 1 team, and the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office now for 8 days. Our #1 priority is life safety. That's the safety of you, our communities, and your loved ones, followed by protecting homes and property. We continue to be engaged with our collaborators. We're working hard to protect you. And now with the additional resources that have come into Clackamas County, we are able to get back to staffing community fire stations across Clackamas County so we can continue to answer your calls for help through the 911 system. Again, we sincerely appreciate the time, effort, and dedication that you have shown, your support for our firefighters, and your support for one another. We're all in this together, and we'll all get through it together. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Ted Coons. I'm the incident commander for the State Fire Marshal's team that's here in Clackamas County, managing the structural resources that have been brought in from around the state. I too, along with Chief Charlton, would like to thank you for all your support. It's been amazing the amount of giving and everything that we've seen. We just want to thank you for that. Tonight, I'd like to also kind of touch base really quick on some of the fires that we have in partnership with the Oregon Department of Forestry. And I wanted to give you a quick update on those. Pardon me for reading this off, but I just got this. So the Wilhoit fire down in the Malala area is at 591 acres. It's 100% line. 50% of it's mopped up. And what we mean by mopped up is we've gone inside the fire line into the fire and made sure we've got the hot spots and we've taken care of those. They're continuing to mop up with an objective to be 250 feet of the fire line mopped up towards the interior. Unger Road is at 496 acres. That's up in the Colton area. It's 100% line, 30-foot mop up, continuing again to mop up to 250 feet. And they're also taking care of snags, which is those dangerous trees that because of the root system burn out, they could fall and hurt somebody. Graves Road, which is out in the Malino area, 44 acres, 100% line, 50-foot mopped up, continuing to go to 250 feet, and they're snagging in that area also. And the Dowdy fire, the new number there is 1,452 acres, 30% line, and they're continuing line construction, mopping up and snagging operations there. As far as the structural side, we continue to have our structural task forces out in the community, mainly working along the northwest corner of the Riverside fire, and also the other parts in the Colton area and in the Malala area, providing structural protection and preparing things down there, making sure that this fire is safe. I too would like to thank the other teams that are involved here from the other agencies. It's been a great experience. And again, we are honored to be here to serve you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go remotely to our the Public Health Department. Dr. Sarah Present will be joining us via Zoom.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I am Dr. Sarah Present. I am the Clackamas County Public Health Officer. I also function as a Deputy Health Officer for both Multnomah and Washington counties. The three counties work very closely together in our public health responses to any public health issue. I just want to acknowledge first how incredibly stressful I understand that this situation is in Clackamas County and our whole region right now. The air quality is and remains in the hazardous level. There may have been some improvements in part of our region, but it is all still very unhealthy to hazardous levels for everyone in our region. This means that most people are having effects from it, from cough to itchy eyes to more significant or serious effects such as exacerbations of underlying lung disease or heart disease. We really encourage everyone to stay indoors as much as you possibly can. We're encouraging employers to please not make your employees work outside unless absolutely necessary. If people do need to do work outside, we are requesting that you wear masks that filter at least 95% of the particles in the air, and really just limiting outdoor work as much as you possibly can. We will have an event tomorrow in which we're distributing some KN95 masks to agricultural employers who really cannot afford to limit work. However, if somebody is working outside, if somebody's inside, anyone exposed to this smoke who's having symptoms needs to be able to rest, stay hydrated, and find some place where the air is cleaner that you can be. I can talk and answer questions about how to circulate your air inside to increase the air quality. We have access through the Red Cross and through 211 to find clean air shelters if the air inside your home is intolerable. And as we are moving around, we also need to remember that we have two emergencies right now. While the COVID-19 pandemic is not as urgent and in our forefront right now, it is still occurring, and we still need to be cognizant that we need to limit our transmission and exposures as much as we can. So if you are out and about, as much as you are doing what you need to be doing to stay safe, please wear your facial coverings, wash your hands frequently, and keep your physical distance from those that you're not normally with. I also just want to make a quick comment about the water systems in Clackamas County. We do have several water systems that are under boil water notices. I believe there's one in Colton and some of the smaller water systems. As you're going back to your home, many of the water systems may have lost pressure due to loss of electricity or fire damage, and that can lead to potentially bacteria getting into the water. So check with your water providers before drinking your water if you're returning to your home. Most of the water is fine, but some of them you do need to boil water. If so, we ask that you heat the water to where it's boiling and boil it for a full minute before using it for drinking, brushing your teeth, anything where you would be ingesting unboiled water. Again, that's not going to be an urgent concern for most people, but as we start moving back into our homes, it is something that I want everyone to have on your radar. And with that, I will pass it off. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be Clackamas County Commissioner Jim Bernard.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. And I want to specifically thank all the hard work preventing these fires from spreading into our communities. As you return to your homes, areas that have changed status, remember the fire is not over, the danger is still there. You need to be careful. One of the most important factors in this fire is hope. And I'd like to recognize Mayor Sean Drinkwine. His efforts to support the community, to help them and give them hope have been extraordinary. Thank you, Mayor Sean Drinkwine. Also like to thank Nancy Bush. She's our emergency management director, and she has worked tirelessly to organize the groups, all the committees and staff to address the concerns not only of COVID, but of the fire. I extend our sincere appreciation to the various partner agencies, neighbors, in neighboring counties who have sent resources. You've been amazing. Also, our county staff has worked tirelessly on this response effort. I simply can't thank them enough. Finally, the countless volunteers who have helped your loved ones, your neighbors in the path of the fire get to safety deserve a debt of gratitude. Thank you so very much. Our resilience and concern for each other's health and safety will get us through this together. On behalf of the Clackamas County Commission and myself, we forever are grateful for your enduring strength and spirit for all of you in Clackamas County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Clackamas County Disaster Management Director Nancy Bush.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I just want to say Thank you to all of you that have been impacted by this, all of the wildfires. And I just want to thank you for being safe and also, listening to all of our alerts, asking the questions that you need to ask, and making sure that you understand what is going on in your communities and what you need to do. We have to have you in order to keep our communities safe. And yeah, and my heart just goes out to all of you. And as I did say earlier today, this is my community as well. And I'm sorry for everything that's going on. I just want to reiterate a couple of things that you've already heard this evening. We are still in a COVID event. Please be safe. Please follow the precautions, wearing your face covering. If you need to sneeze or cough, do that into your sleeve or into a Kleenex. Wash your hands often. And if you don't have soap and water, please use a hand sanitizer and wipe down all of our surfaces that are used highly. Also, please, if you need to sign up for our public alerts, please do so by going to our website at clackamas.us. And you could, their prompts are on the page where you can go and sign up so you can get the most up-to-date information from us and all of the alerts that we are sending out for this event and also for future events. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I'd like to wrap things up this evening with our incident commander for the Southwest Area Incident Management Team, Alan Sinclair.
Good evening, everyone. Alan Sinclair, Incident Commander, Southwest Area Team 1. Effective incident management requires early and often communication between all the partners involved. And as you can see, we've got quite the list of people that are interacting to ensure that we're informed and making decisions together. And the communication has been extremely consistent and wonderful. So I really do appreciate everybody that's involved, helping the team out to prioritize where we're putting our forces. And as you've heard, we're focused on the areas where the fires impacting the urban areas. You're looking at seeing some possible containment tonight. And containment is the fruit of many labors and time. So once a line is constructed, it's got to be monitored. Crews then go in and they identify any heat sources near that line that could potentially threaten the line if wind was to pick up and blow hot embers across it. So they'll go in, extinguish those hot spots near the line, and then we wait a little bit and make sure that that line's going to hold. And then we will call it contained when everybody's comfortable that it's not going to be impacted by any future wind events. So when you start seeing the containment, understand that those efforts to contain lines started days ago. I really appreciate all the hard work that the crews are doing. I appreciate all the communication that your local leaders are engaged in with us, and I really appreciate your support. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Alan. I think we've attempted to address many of the questions we've viewed online in various presentations from our speakers tonight. We realize we may not have hit on every single topic there. Again, if we missed your particular question, please feel free to give us a call. We are also monitoring our email, and we'll continue to monitor our online social media. With that, we will wrap things up for the evening. Again, I encourage you to visit our INCIWeb website. We'll share the link below here. And that will be our one-stop information sharing where you can find our daily updates. We also have resources on there to our maps, photos, videos, and links to all of our partner agencies. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a good night.